Hello and welcome. My name is Katsu, and this is the 7th part of a challenge run I started by now about a month ago. There was a big gap between the last video, the 5th part, and the 6th. And the reason for that is that things turned out to be quite a bit more difficult than it seemed to me at first. The very first video I uploaded was kind of lucky, because everything sort of went well, but I soon realized that even after this start there was a huge amount of details to be taken care of. So this video is basically a short time lapse because I don't know who wants to watch a 3-hour video of a full run. That's if you really want to replay this. That one has all the details but no commentary. And this one basically has all the commentary but not a bunch of details. So I'm just gonna go over the broad strokes here. What you see is basically the first starting layout, and that is to get up the beacon first. You start with 2 workshops right away, you research the beacon as your first tech, and then you scout right away, and you need to have the crash site as the first scouting locations. If you don't get that, you have to reset the map, otherwise this doesn't work. You either get too many people if you go to the last expedition first and therefore exhaust your food resources, or you don't make it to hothouses in time. Either way, your run is over if you don't have the crash site. So as you can see here, I did get that and I continued, and once you have the crash site, you gotta follow the scouting locations towards Winterhome. That means you have to open up the second slice of your layout with a bunch of houses. You have to make space with 3rd and 4th workshop for the incoming engineers, and you need to put down some additional gathering posts so that everybody has something to do. Now, as you can just see, hothouses, getting those down is basically the second big milestone. Once you have them, it gets a little bit easier. But not too much actually, as you'll soon see. Because the next step after this is you basically have to tech as quick as you can all the way up to your outpost depot. Because since we're playing this charcoaled, in addition to a vegetarian, that also means that we can't build any coal thumpers or mines. So only charcoal kilns, level 2 technology, way down the line, which costs wood. So the next big step is getting the coal mine opened and getting the outpost depot down. You can see as soon as I open Winterhome, I haven't used any policies before that because now I want to spend them all and want to get as much hope as possible. And also, if you rush to Winterhome, the number of Londoners you get is a fraction of the total number of people you have in your city at that point in time. So the earlier you go there, the smaller the numbers and the easier it gets to unite your colony again. Once you got that going, you want to rush through the policies and pretty much start with the ones that give you the largest hope bonuses first. So you start with cemetery, and then you get care house next, and so on and so on. You can delay houses of prayer a little bit because at the initial stages we're a bit short on steel, but you don't want to delay them too long because the active on the houses of prayer actually does wonders for you over time. What you want to keep an eye on is that you have enough food, because 2 hothouses will be barely enough food for 120 people, but if you have sick people in them, it gets a little bit tight. So as soon as you get additional people into your colony, you need to open up another slice. You need more hothouses, as you can see here, and more locations in the northwest corner for additional workers. What you also want to do is you want to start to put down more roads towards the outpost depot on the left side here. Put down a research depot so you can fully utilize the outpost that's now up and running, and continue. As you've just seen, one of the conditions of this run was that both of the coin flip events, the Bears and Tesla City, I save and reload until it works because I hate RNG. I think it's dumb. I think it's misplaced, and it has no place in this run basically. So it's also a precondition for Deathless anyway. So not much of choice there. But it's one of the rules that I set in the beginning. It's not, I'm not gaming the map or anything. So once you got the gloomy cave, that means you got a bunch of more people coming in. You want to fill all your houses. Once you open up a slice, you want to get just as many people so that it's fully utilized and not half, to stay as efficient as you can. I'm always trying to fill out the steam hubs that I've placed to the fullest before I put down the next one. And I'm also not going for sort of a fully circular layout. I'm more trying to build little cities around steam hubs, as you can see here on the left side. Those are a total. Those will be a total of 6 workshops and 2 hothouses, together with 1 steam hub and the shrine. Don't forget to put down shrines. They're huge. They make a big difference in terms of your productivity. And they're also quite cheap. Here, unfortunately, I had to delete hothouse again, half-step the temple to put them all in this little area there. The reason for that is that with the changed building placement due to the latest patch, which is awesome in almost all of the cases, here it's not, because it stretches the hothouses more than I'd like them to be stretched. The next step then is to get to Tesla City and have your second outpost depot running by that time, so that you can start to get steam cores as quickly as possible. That's important because at the very end of the game it will matter how many of those steam cores you get, because you need every last one of them. Because we have both hothouses and a charcoal kiln economy, which requires wall drills, we need a ton of steam cores. And that means we'll only be making a total of 8 automatons until the very end of the game, and invest everything else in buildings. Here you can see opening up and deleting another steam core. I'm putting that down later. This will be sawmills later to be replaced by infirmaries, but for now it's not entirely necessary. Teching, however, is necessary, and the next big goal is engineer automatons, so that you can get ready for that upcoming temperature drop, which you can see on the horizon. It's on day 21. It's 2 degrees down, and the only way to deal with this is to get to level 5, the second generator power upgrade, because otherwise you have to either get bunkhouses and spend a ton of steel on upgrading all of your houses, and that basically forces you to delay automatons and all other sorts of things, which isn't great. So the best is to just rush level 5 tech, get the generator upgrade in time, and on the side you get advanced steelworks, as you've seen there on the right, and you get, of course, engineer automatons. As soon as you get those, you want to make sure you have always at least 2 running for your night research teams, which speeds up everything quite a lot. But you also want to get ready for the next big thing, which is going to be the incoming refugees. You can see the Londoners, we pretty much got that covered because we saved up all the policies. We have plenty of hope left and plenty of options to push that up, and those the Londoners are not an issue. They'll just disappear and reunite pretty much as soon as you put down the temple. You're good to go, because that building alone is going to take care of them over time. You also want to get the charcoal kiln upgrades, because those buildings are super efficient in terms of producing coal. And you want to put down your coal economy as soon as you're forced now on day 21 to turn on your generator up 2 levels, because that immediately blows up your coal consumption, as you've just seen briefly there, and you want to have enough kilns in place already so that this doesn't starve you of coal. Um, as soon as you've done that, you can see I've put down a bunch of more workshops because we have the wave of refugees coming in fairly soon. We have exhausted other locations with people in the map, and we're starting to put down another part of the layout in the end. Here you can see I'm having problems again because with the new mechanism of placing down buildings, my original half-stepping routine here for this area doesn't work. I waste a huge amount of time here. Eventually I resign and settle for something asymmetric just to get down the 3 buildings which are really important, which is a house of prayer, the public house, and another cookhouse. Those are all heated again by a level 1 steam hub behind it, and then I fill the area up there with houses and I believe 2 child shelters to be placed fairly soon. There you can see on the right side it doesn't quite fit, but again, I'm tired at this point, I give up. With that put down, we have enough spaces for houses. We also put some depots down because now we're starting to get a bunch of food coming in from the additional hothouses on the lower left side. And we need to be ready now because our city is gonna grow fairly quickly. There you can see total of 6 houses, no, 8 houses and child shelters. Another save because we just united the city again. The Londoners are gone, which means the next big thing in line is the refugees. And here you can see on the lower right side I'm building sort of my medical steam hub. That's a hub with 2 care houses on the inside and then infirmaries on the outside. That works and stretches the covered area quite a bit. I'm also placing more houses for the incoming people. You always want to have the houses down before the refugees arrive so that nobody stays in the cold for too long. You upgrade the infirmaries next and you wait for the arrival of the refugees. Since you have engineer automatons running, teching happens actually kind of fast, and taking care of the sick people with 4 infirmaries soon to be placed is also fairly unproblematic. You also want to make sure that you basically spike them with extra rations for the ill and a shrine in the middle, which pushes the infirmaries all the way up to 200% both together. You just gotta refresh these extra rations. And that pretty much melts away all the sick people each time before the next wave arrives. The care houses that I've placed, 3 of them, are just in case, just for the last wave of 50 gravely ill people. I only have 4 infirmaries at that point. The other 10 are going into a care house, but that's fine. Now you can see it coming on the horizon. We now have another temperature drop, and unfortunately the generator is already at maximum capacity. I'm stretching the overdrive here so that I buy some more time to put down the houses, because I have researched houses and the advanced house design to save up on resources. Having refugees done, the next goal then is to replace all the tents with houses, because it's getting subsequently colder from now on, and starting to build up the stockpile of food that's necessary to survive the storm. In the meantime, we went all the way up to 3 scouts with scout sleds, the second speed upgrade, so that we can get to all locations, get all technologies, and get all remaining survivors escorted back home to the city. That wasn't a big issue. I think I got engineer and automatons fairly early, so teching afterwards was okay. Houses here also were placed sort of on a medium pace, because if you just replace all of them, you make people homeless, they get sick. Also not a good idea. And since I have 4 infirmaries, running. I might as well use them to cure a few people who stay in tents while I replace the houses. Now you can see I'm slowly running out of options for technologies. I've almost exhausted the tech tree. And I'm also out of steam cores. And after replacing the last remaining houses, tents with houses, the next goal is to replace the normal hot houses with industrial hot houses, and switch the steam hubs to 24 hours. Put automatons in there and get that food income going. You can see it on the top. We're at 600 already. You want to make sure you get raw food rations because they take fewer space and can be converted later on. And if you get to around 2000, a little bit under, you're good. So at this point you don't need any more steel. You can even take one of the wall drills off because we have a little stockpile of coal. But you want to have 6 industrial hothouses with automatons producing food non-stop because the storm is here. And you can see we are at 1500, we'll be 1700, 1800, I hope. Yeah, 1700 when the storm hits. That's a little low. I wanted to be at 2000, but it was just okay in the end. Keep in mind that even if people starve, they can starve for a bit. Now, as soon as the storm hits, all the hothouses are useless, so you take them all down. You replace them all with infirmaries. I put down a factory because I got more automatons, because I want to have my coal economy all running on automatons. That requires 2 on the wall drills and a total of 6 on kilns. Although you can, that's still net positive. Kilns are just super efficient, I said that before, and they will run throughout the storm. You don't need any coal surplus, you just need to get to be on par with your generator, with your consumption, and you'll be fine. You have a ton of steam cores left for infirmaries, which you all place down if you can. Again, they now need 24-hour steam hubs, as you just saw, and they will take care of any of the sick people. You don't want to use any more rations for the ill at this point because you're running low on food. But that's about it. The last few days are pretty much smooth sailing. As you can see here, you boost the overdrive through the last day. You throw in a steam core. I actually forgot about it. Sacrificed a child, reloaded, did it again. Cause yeah, I'm retarded. But that's about it. Yeah, that's the run. Thanks for watching.